So in previous lecture series, in part 2, subpart 2, we looked at target identification in much more detail, wherein we left the topic at genomics. Alright, so genomics, bioinformatics and proteomics will be discussed in this lecture. Let's begin with genomics in TI, that is target identification. So genomics is the study of human genes, as indicated by the word itself. So human genes and chromosomes. Genomics is the study of human genes and chromosomes. So genomics gives a new resource for therapeutic opportunity by identifying disease association and target for intervention. Generally the focus is given on druggable genome. Again, a word is used, that is druggable genome. Now what is this? The gene that encodes protein, okay, obviously encodes proteins and are able to bind to small molecules, binds to small molecule. So how do we predict this? We predict this on based on sequence and structural homology to known drug targets. Okay, we might already have certain drug targets which are known to us, so we'll look at the sequence and structural homology and predict it. So there are many databases such as the drug gene interaction database that offer a wealth of publicly available genome information to mine and identify gene of potential therapeutic targets. अब ड्रगेबल जीनोम कैसे क्या होता है कि currently it is estimated now that 4,479 genes fall in this category, that is druggable genome, what we learned here, and offers therapeutic opportunities for new and repurposed drugs. So this was about genomics and its role in target identification, how it helps. Next is bioinformatics in target identification. So bioinformatics is a field that develops methods. So basically it develops what methods and software tools for understanding of biological data. So it is used to search a gene sequence. Okay, एक gene sequence के search में use कर सकते हैं. To analyze this gene sequence, so search भी कर सकते हैं, analyze भी कर सकते हैं. Predicting the structure of protein. Okay, molecular imaging and modeling. What it means by this is that जो 3D और 4D models की बात करते हैं हम, it can be done by bioinformatics. So we study the pathogenesis of a particular disease, and then one can see where can we find a particular target that can alter the gene progression of this particular disease. So if we use only our mental capacity to understand how the drug target will alter the disease progression, and we may even miss out on other alternatives. Example, let's understand this by an example, that there is a disease condition in which due to increase in a particular hormone level, it causes a disease. So if we identify what hormone is this, then that particular hormone becomes our target. So we have to somehow control the level of this hormone and try to reduce. If we are trying to, either if it is increased, we are trying to decrease, or either if it is decreased, we are trying to increase. Like for example, thyroid hormone. Then we must also take care of a thing, that is if it is increased too much or decreased too much, or whether the increase or decrease of this thing doesn't cause further side effects. So now this is our point of view. Okay, so we also understood the side effects as well. So all these things our brain may not be able to understand or predict. So that is where computerized systems come into play. So like this bioinformatics helps us in this way. And this computer based science basically aids us to predict or analyze the biological knowledge. So the one advantage of this could be that it speeds up the key steps. Okay, speeds up the key steps in drug discovery process by combining aspects of bioinformatics. बायोइन्फॉर्मेटिक्स यूज़ हुआ, अब देखना इसमें कितनी और मल्टीपल चीज़ें यूज़ हो सकती है. बायो इन्फॉर्मेटिक्स यूज़ हुआ, स्ट्रक्चरल बायोलॉजी एंड स्ट्रक्चर बेस्ड डिज़ाइन. सो वी नो जीनोमिक्स एंड अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ जीन्स. सो जीनोमिक्स और जीन्स की अंडरस्टैंडिंग से हमें मदद मिली है, एंड वी नो द रोल ऑफ बायो इन्फॉर्मेटिक्स एज वेल. नाउ प्रोटियोनॉमिक्स एंड टारगेट आइडेंटिफिकेशन. Proteomics in target identification. So large scale study of proteins. Proteomics is nothing but large scale study of proteins. So proteins are vital parts of living organisms, we all know that, and with many functions such as forming of structural fibers of muscle tissue, enzymatic digestion of food, or synthesis or replication of DNA, other way like in be it antibodies or hormones. So all these are like the essential and crucial functions of proteins. So proteome is the entire set. If I talk about something known as proteome is the entire set of proteins that is or can be expressed by a genome. So this basically is expressed by a genome, cell tissue, organic or genome or cell tissue or organism at a certain time. So let's understand it. DNA, then RNA, then protein बना इससे. So DNA हम कह सकते हैं जीनोम, ठीक है. Then this is something known as transcriptome, and then finally proteome. So this number of proteins. So it helps in the identification of ever increasing proteins. So drug discovery relies on proteomics to identify proteins. So again and again this word is repeated. Let me highlight it. Proteomics helps in basically identifying proteins. If there is a disease condition that is caused by proteins, then proteomics come to play to identify proteins associated with disease. It involves using highly complex protein screening technology for biological understanding on a wide scale level, and it can help researchers in a variety of processes. So we have as many as 25,000 different types of genes in our body, and these genes have 200 or more different types of proteins in our body. So now every cell that is in our body, how does it act? One protein reacts with another protein, forming a cascade of proteins, forming a cascade of events. We all call it as it's like the ripple effect. So we all also call it as interim. So this interim is a very complex thing. When a cell protein does not work alone, okay, it interacts with one another and then it forms a interim. It is a very complex area, and there is a lot that has not been discovered yet. Many untapped information is there in this area, which is essential for drug discovery. So in the same way, when we study these proteins which are vital for every human being, proteomics enables the identification of ever increasing number of proteins, so we understand and try to study a particular disease that depend or has its key factor in protein. So computer software can be used as targets for new drug. Okay, what will happen if we stop that particular interaction? Suppose we stop this interaction, what will happen to other cascades of interactions that are happening? meaning if I stop one interaction, I can study what will happen to other interactions that are happening interdependently based on, and we can study all these on some sorts of computer softwares. Example, there is a certain protein which actually caused a certain disease. We have identified that this particular protein has a big structure or a big role to play in a particular disease. So with the help of bioinformatics, which we studied previously, we will actually get the 3D structure of this protein, and it would provide the information or designing. So basically it provides info, or with the help of the structure, or designing a particular drug that will interfere, and it helps in designing a particular drug that will interfere with the action of this particular protein. A molecule that fits the active site of an enzyme. So एक मेरा molecule है, suppose this is the enzyme and this is my molecule. So and this is the active site. So a molecule that fits in the active site of an enzyme but cannot be released by an enzyme actually inactivates the enzyme. मतलब ये enzyme ने release नहीं की, बाहर से आके it will attach to the active site and basically it will inhibit the enzyme. So this is the basis of new drug discovery tools, which aims to find new drugs to inactivate proteins involved in disease. So this new genomics, proteomics, bioinformatics together works and helps in drug discovery process, mainly in target identification and then again in target validation and lead identification. So in the next part, that is part 3, we'll study about target validation. So please look forward for this video if you want to study regarding target validation. Till then, please like, share, subscribe.